All right. So welcome everybody to the October 1st. It's hard to believe for me at least that October is here, but it is the October 1st BAP meeting. Tonight we have Suttle Stalnaker here with us today. Morgan Hunt and I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your name.
Oh, it's just Lane Blassingham.
Lane Blassingham.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm horrible with names, so I apologize. But they are here with us tonight, and I'm sure they've got a great presentation here with us, so I'll go ahead and give them the floor.
Thank you. It's great, yes. But I really just want to kind of make this a conversation too, so that you guys can have the opportunity to get to know us and public accounting a little bit more. So I'm Morgan Hunt. I am a senior accountant at Suttle Stalnaker. I've been with the firm for about 3 years, and I am in our Morgantown office.
I'm Lane Blassingham. I'm just a staff accountant in the Charleston office. I just started in August, but I interned during tax season up in the Morgantown office.
Staff accountants are super important. Lane.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so Suttle was founded in 1973. We've been serving clients for over 45 years. We are on our second generation of owners. We are the second largest West Virginia-based firm. We are the largest West Virginia-owned firm. We are a member of the AICPA G400, and we currently have 85 staff members and 12 partners.
So the AICPA G400, what that means is that the AICPA recognizes that we are in the top 400 best accounting firms. And for the AICPA to recognize that, it is kind of a big deal.
Definitely for a smaller firm in West Virginia.
Oh, yeah. And then Inside Public Accounting also ranked us in the top 300 firms since 2014. They're just like a magazine, which is still pretty cool, but the AICPA one is still, I think, cooler. We're also a full-service firm. We do audit, tax, and consulting work. We also help out with small businesses doing just bookkeeping work and things like that. And we're trying to integrate that more into the other audit, tax, and consulting divisions, just so we can have a better, well-rounded firm to help our clients better. Also, we have 3 locations where I'm at, the Charleston office, where Morgan's at, the Morgantown firm, which is the one in the middle, and our new Parkersburg location. We just moved into this new building. I haven't been there yet, but all the pictures that I've seen, it looks pretty cool.
Yes, I'm in Morgantown. I've been here for 3 years. Lane did his tax internship in Morgantown last spring before COVID ended that pretty abruptly. Yeah, we do audit, tax, and consulting. We basically we do anything that we are asked to help our clients and serve them. Our purpose, Suttle Stalnaker, exists to provide world-class accounting, tax, and consulting services to our clients in an environment that rewards employees for exceptional internal and external service. I think we really strive to just provide excellent service to clients and perform a standard of work that goes above and beyond. This, I think, gives us a good name and a reputation to clients and keeps them coming back.
Yeah, I mean, like when I first told like my family and people around the Charleston area that I was going to work for Suttle and Stalnaker, they were like, "Oh wow, like that's a really good firm." Like it wasn't like, "Oh, I'm working at H&R Block." Nothing against them, but we're a little bit better than H&R Block. So if you just want to go to the next slide. So we uphold the highest standards of ethics, integrity, and honesty, and that's pretty much, just being your best, be best, and really, the people around you really help you and hold you to that higher standard. We also treat everybody with respect and loyalty. This doesn't mean that you can't joke around with people. I mean, obviously you can. You have to have a fun work environment, but I mean, we're not, making fun of people. And we also recognize the importance of flexibility and balances in our work and life responsibilities. So this is like next week, I'm buying a house and I have to have it inspected. And for about 3 hours in the middle of the day, I'm going to leave the office and go with the inspector and have my house inspected. And I could either use like PTO time, pay time off for that, or I could like come in a little earlier, stay a little later, just to kind of like even out those hours. So like Suttle really wants you to like have that work-life balance. They don't want you to spend your entire life in the office. I mean, they might want you to, but you don't have to. I mean, also, we give back to our community through service, professional, and charitable organizations. Um, we work with a lot of charities and professional organizations. So we just try to help out, and we help build the community through this. We also provide excellent service. Of course we do. And we also support continued personal and professional growth. This just means like we really help you to help pass your CPA exams. Um, we have for every new person that's hired that wants to be a CPA, each person has a $5,000 allowance to help pay for their study materials, their exams, anything that you might need to study. And after you pass all 4 parts of the exam, whatever is left of that $5,000 allowance is just given to you. So like if you pass all 4 before you start, you just get a $5,000 bonus. Also, we have the continued education stuff. So, I mean, that really helps. I mean, they pay
Yeah.
for it, so you don't have to like pay. I think it's like $200 sometimes for it.
Yeah, I mean, outside of COVID, I had so much CPE anyway, but we would go to like Hagerstown, Maryland, and do training there for audit or tax. I was sent to Atlanta, Georgia for the AICPA tax school. Suttle is really committed to investing in their employees. We are the greatest asset for the company. So it's important that we are knowledgeable and that we continue to invest in ourselves. Giving back to the community as well, we we actually just did a 5K run for the West Virginia Society of CPAs. It's a scholarship allowance that we ran for. We also participate in the Mountaineer Food Bank. We just did a large donation for them in the spring when COVID first started to hit. But we also do other little things throughout the year too.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like in Charleston, if there's like a live on the levee, like before Rona, we might have like a little booth or something, just trying to be part of the community. And
Yeah.
also, we are a member of Millennial Global. It's just an association of independent accounting and consulting firms throughout the world. And really, it's just like if you have a question about something, you can ask somebody, a different firm that's part of Millennial Global. And also, they help us with our continued professional education. We do a lot of that through Millennial.
Yeah, Millennial is like a big network that many smaller firms are a part of, not just in West Virginia, it's global. And they host a lot of our trainings that we go to, and we do trainings not just for like tax or audit, but once you get into public accounting for a few years, you start to do a leadership program to help build your leadership skills. So Millennial really helps us in growing our professional
And
ability.
Suttle pays for that leadership course as well. So.
And this is a video. It's not really great or
Yeah,
entertaining, so
we watched it.
we thought we'd just skip it.
We gave you the gist of Millennial.
Yeah, if it was a subtle video, I think it'd be more important, but it's really just a lineal and what a lineal is.
So, what makes us different? We believe that our people are the most important resource, as Morgan said earlier. We create an environment that empowers people to achieve their goals, professional aspirations. I mean, that goes back to helping you pass your CPA exams, really just making you feel welcome in the office and not like, oh God, I have to go to work today. It's like, oh, I get to go to work. We support an office space where employees enjoy coming to work. Duh. And like everybody jokes. I mean, like when I'm asking around for work, like I send a little meme or something fun. And then we also care about each other and support each other both personally and professionally. So like every week or so, or at least every week, we like have like groups that we all check in on, and we're like, hey, how are you doing? Like, you know, like, how's the family? Are you exercising? I know Ryan, our like one of our managers, is like all about the exercise.
Yeah,
Not
he's
for
been
me.
extra on
Um,
that.
yeah. And then
But
also, we encourage and support community involvement through professional, civic, and charitable organizations. That goes back to the Mountaineer Food Bank thing that Morgan said earlier, and just really being a part of the community. We really try to do that here. If you want to go
yeah.
to the next slide, unless you have
Oh, well,
something to
I do
add.
want to comment. COVID has basically turned everybody upside down onto their heads. And so it's hard to feel supported when you're at home alone sometimes. So I think Suttle has really had to look within and come up with these processes to support employees from home, because we were home from March 15th, 20th-ish to beginning of June. So it was a long time that we were all working virtually. And when you don't see anybody besides maybe your husband or your child for that long, you're a little crazy. But I think they came up with the weekly check-ins. So me and Lane are in the same group. We have a group of like 5 people, 5 employees that a manager checks in on, and we all get to kind of discuss like our work status, what's going on, are we having any technical issues? And some of those employees might be working from home that week. We do a rotation. So one group works in the office and one group works from home. And sometimes technical difficulties happen in or outside the office. But just to check in and get those things resolved or find work for some of the employees, or even just to check in to have like that mental check, because it was tough during COVID to not have the support that we normally do. And I think this just allows us to have that now.
Yeah, and then especially like our whole like office and everything is like run by Cisco. So like we can chat pretty seamlessly through like from branch to branch, office to office, cubicle to cubicle. I mean, like sometimes like
Without being close.
yeah, you don't have to have your mask on. But I mean sometimes like we'll have like our like little webcam open and we'll just leave it open all day just to like, have somebody to talk to. Kind of like Jim and Pam in the office. When Pam goes to the New York branch. If y'all watch The Office. Anyway, if you want to go to the next slide, Morgan.
All right, career track opportunities. S&S provides both general accounting and specialized services in several different areas. We have audit and attestation. We have client accounting services, which is our small business department. We have tax preparation, planning and consulting, and management consulting. So you basically can dabble into a lot of different things. And starting out at Suttle, you will probably get to work on all these different things. Just starting out, just
Yeah, like
because.
I know during my tax internship, I actually like helped Ryan, one of the managers, on an audit for a few things here and there.
Yeah.
It was tax season, but he was like, "Can you do this audit work?" So I mean, it's not like once you say like, "Oh, I want to work in the tax department," like that's all you're gonna do. Like you're gonna work on some other things here and there,
Mm-hmm.
and it just helps you become a better, just well-rounded accountant.
Yeah, I believe that too. I think the experience in both kind of gets you familiar with both, and almost helps you choose which one you kind of like more.
Yeah, and plus like working in like these different areas, it helps you on the CPA exams a lot. Because I'm technically in the tax department, but I've been doing a lot of audit work recently, and I'll be taking the audit test next week. So like, it's really helped me just kind of like understand the concepts. Whereas if I was maybe at a different firm, I would only be working on tax things, so the audit test would be super hard for me.
Yeah. Some firms kind of put you in this box, and you stay in that box forever. But S&S, you have the opportunity to do a lot of different work on a lot of different clients, which is interesting and great.
Right, so life at Suttle Stalnaker, we have a comprehensive benefits package. So like our insurance, like our health insurance and stuff, if you're single and you have no kids, all of your health insurance, dental, vision, everything's paid for. Like you don't have to worry about that at all. So like I know that really helped me. That was one of the reasons why I can buy a house. I mean, other places like if you you know, if you're paying for your health insurance and stuff, that's a couple $100 a month at least. So it really helps. Also, we have dress for your day. So like you can wear jeans and a polo or some dress pants. Really just depends on like what you're doing that day. So like if you're going to go to work, like for an audit, like in a client's office, and the client like wears suits, like they all wear suits, you have to wear a suit because you have to kind of fit in.
I haven't had that happen yet.
Yeah,
but
most
no
offices
suits.
don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But like if you're just working in the office, you can just wear jeans and a polo.
Yeah.
I don't like wearing jeans and a polo because I just feel like it makes me look like a used car salesman. So I don't do that. I wear my little slick pants from Old Navy. But also we have paid time off for vacation and sick leave purposes. We actually have a really good PTO policy. Um, Starting out, you get 120 hours. It accrues monthly. So 120 hours is 3 weeks. So a lot of places you don't get 3 weeks of vacation starting out. I mean, you might get two,
It's
but three,
vacation and sick leave too.
yeah. So I mean,
Combined.
it's pretty good. Also, we have paid holidays, including Firm Appreciation Day. So Firm Appreciation Day is just like, hey, we really appreciate you. Here's a day off, and it's
Yeah.
paid.
We get an extra day.
And then the paid holidays are like Thanksgiving, Christmas, all the fun stuff. We also have free parking at all of our offices. I think the Morgantown office is the only one that actually has a parking garage.
But it's paid for by the firm.
Yeah. So everywhere else, like we have a parking lot. And I know that was a big deal because I used to work at the mall when I was in high school in Charleston, and you'd have to pay $2 for parking every time you came in. And that was when minimum wage was $7.25 an hour. So it was like, geez, like how much do I have to pay for parking? Also, we have flexible work arrangements for full and part-time work. We've gone over that a good bit during this presentation. We'll skip that one. Also, we have remote work after you've like worked a good bit. COVID's really like accelerated this, so it's kind of like, okay, you know what you're doing. You're not literally just like pointing places and clicking. Like you know what you're doing. Like you can probably work from home. Also, employees get their work reviewed twice annually. That's pretty good. It just kind of lets you know, like, hey, you're doing pretty good, or hey, like you're kind of lacking in like this area. Maybe like, you know, work a little harder doing auditing or something. You know, like it helps you a lot. But that doesn't mean you can't go to somebody's office and be like, hey, can you tell me what I need to work on from what you've seen? Like people will be like, yeah, sure. Like I'll tell you how to better yourself. Like I don't want you to sit around and be a terrible worker. Like I want to help you. We also have performance-based pay increases. So if you do really good, get a pay raise. And then also we have discretionary bonuses, which is like you can get a bonus, but they're not promised.
Yeah.
Which is great. A bonus is a bonus. Nobody's mad about a bonus.
I would add to this that Suttle has a 1,800 billable hour goal for staff accountants starting out, and a 2,200 goal overall. I think I would just think about that when you're looking at other public accounting firms and ask them what those are. When I was in the recruiting process, that this wasn't even brought up. So I think it's important to know like what your expectations are beforehand, especially in public accounting.
Yeah, because I mean, one place might have a 1,900 billable hour and 2,300 hours overall and make the same amount of money as we do here working 1,800 billable hours. I mean, so it's like, are you going to work more and get paid less, or are you going to kind of even it out?
Which one do you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay, so we offer internships throughout the year at all three of our locations. We have a tax internship in the spring, and we do a summer audit internship, which is mainly in our Charleston office. That's our largest office and where most of our audits are based out of. But we do tax internships at all three locations. Interns are considered professional staff, so they get to work on the same kind of stuff that a beginning staff accountant would work on. They get to do pretty simple 1040s, scanning, a lot of the entire tax return process. Our goal is to provide college accounting students with a rewarding and learning experience through direct working relationships with staff and clients. I think you learn so much more doing hands-on tax work than you do in the classroom. I think you learn the basics in the classroom, but just getting into the software, getting into somebody's tax return work papers and seeing what they have and how it works and how it flows through the software is completely different and just helps you learn so much more. Our hope is that our interns join us as full-time employees of the firm upon graduation from college. Lane was a intern in Morgantown, a tax intern in Morgantown, and he just started full-time in Charleston. So
yeah, and to add on to what Morgan said, like she said, interns with Suttle, you do work on actual returns. Like you're not just in like a practice software that I know a lot of my friends in grad school, when they were interning at other firms, they literally just did practice returns the whole time. Like they just got paid to do practice returns, which I mean, you might like it because it's like, hey, like I don't really have to try and I'll get paid. But it's like, are you really like helping like educate yourself on how to do this stuff? No. Like actually working in the tax software, like Morgan said, helps you more than what you think. And the tax software is not like TurboTax. Like it's not like, pretty simple. Like it's got everything. Like it really helps you, and especially with the CPA exam, if you're an intern during tax season, it helps you a ton on the reg exam. I know it helped me a lot. Like when I was taking my exam, I would literally think about the display screen of our software. Morgan told me to do that.
Yes.
And it helped so much. Like it's honestly, it's set up better than TurboTax. I'll be honest. I've done a lot of returns on TurboTax for my friends, and our stuff is a lot better.
Yeah, and our audit interns also get hands-on experience. Audit interns outside of COVID go to clients' offices, work along the staff and senior accountants with us, and get to actually work on a real audit. So it's very hands-on, and we want you to gain as much experience from it as possible. And I highly recommend anybody does any kind of internship. If you're looking at public accounting, I think just getting the experience is super helpful. All right, recruiting at Marshall. I think some of these events might have already happened. I think Visit the Firms might have happened. I'm not totally sure, but positions are posted on Marshall job tracks, and please apply if you are interested. And then if you have any questions outside of this that you don't maybe want to ask here, these are our emails if you want to send us an email, or you can add us on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'm always trying to grow my network on LinkedIn, so go ahead.
But if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah.
We're here. We're going to try not to be too scary, but any question you can ask us.
Well, I have a question. So I know you guys are a little bit different as far as like where you are in your careers with Suttle, but what's your favorite part of your jobs?
I think my favorite part of the job is the people I work with. I think Suttle has really great people who work really hard and really care about their work and their clients. And I am happy to be surrounded by them every day. And like Lane said earlier, we aren't face-to-face anymore. And even not working on a client, I don't get to see people as often, but because of our technology now, I can talk to them almost anytime.
Yeah, and I would pretty much just say the same thing. Like I love the people here. I mean, and I'm a people person anyway. So COVID has been kind of hard on me, but like we do have an open door policy. So it's like, if you have a question about anything, like you can feel free to ask. Like it's not like, oh no, like am I going to look stupid asking this question? Like it's like, no, like ask a question. Like it's honestly probably a good question. I know that I've asked a few questions that I thought, this is like, they're going to look at me and think that I'm so dumb for asking this question. And literally they're like, oh, wow, that's a really good question, actually. And I don't feel like they're like patronizing me. They're like, that's actually a good question. Let me like answer you, try to find an answer for you, or work to find an answer.
Public accounting is hard and stressful, and you just have to ask those questions to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So no question is stupid.
Speaking of which, does anyone else have any other questions?
How's the recruiting season going for everybody?
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I know I've
Virtual.
had a few interviews, so I took a table into our guest bedroom and made myself a little interview corner.
Nice. Nice.
Where I would just set up and then do my interviews, where I had like a blank wall, so I didn't have to do the whole virtual background.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I did not get to do any virtual interviews this year. I think our HR director did most of those. So I didn't get that experience. I was kind of worried about how that would go, but we participated in the WVU Meet the Firms night, and we did have a few one-on-one interactions, but it went well. It went well.
That's good.
I have a question.
Sure.
So why did you guys choose accounting?
Oh, that's a deep dive. I chose accounting a long time ago. I chose accounting in high school, actually. We had to choose kind of a path, and business was a path that we could choose. So I did that, and I took my first accounting classes in high school, and I just kind of liked how everything had a place, or like a counter action that put everything in balance. And so in college, I kind of went with it. I also thought it made good money at the end, so I went with it. But then at the end of every semester, I kind of was like, do I really want to do this? But push through. You really want to do it. You really want to get through accounting. You really want to get to the CPA. And even if you don't end up in public accounting, I think accounting is a great career with a lot of different options.
When I first went to college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had worked in retail and stuff before, so I was like, okay, like I liked the numbers aspect of it, like looking at prior years and like priors at like trends, and like just like looking at all that and figuring out like what will sell and this and that. So I was like, okay, like I might like business. Let's try this. So I was like, okay, let's do marketing. I was like, marketing sounds fun. It's like, who doesn't like signs? So I like signed up for marketing, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be a marketer. I'm going to do this. And then you have to take an accounting class for any business degree. And so I took an accounting class with a professor, and she literally wrote the book. Like, she wrote the book, and she was a great professor. And one of my grandmas, she said that when my aunt went to college, she had no idea what she wanted to do, and my grandma said, just go with what you're good at, and it'll just work out. So I took the accounting class, and I got like 104% in it. I really, really liked it. So I'm like, well, I'm good at this. I'll just go with it. So I ran with it. And then after like I graduated undergrad, I was like, well, do I want to defer my loans for another year and go to grad school? Yes. Yes. So that's what I did. And, they're still deferred. So good for me. But also, like, being an accountant, it's much more like usable than a marketing degree, because I mean, look at COVID. I mean, accountants still have jobs. Like, I was offered a job before, like I had my internship, and I was offered the full-time position before COVID, and I still had it like in September or August. So whereas like my friends who majored in marketing or hospitality and tourism, I mean, they're out of a job. They can't do anything. So your degree is so much better with an accounting degree. So that's pretty much why I did it, because I was like, I can do anything with this.
Anything else?
Marie, Adam, Jed. Shelby, Kaylee,
Lane.
come on.
Just calling them out
Chandler,
like
you have a
that.
question, Chandler?
I have a question.
All right,
Sure.
So, what surprised you the most when you started working?
Honestly, I was surprised that I wasn't bored because everybody's like, oh, like once you start working, you're just sitting at a desk for like 8.5, 9 hours a day. Like it's so boring. And honestly, like I sit here and I'm like, oh wow, it's already 3:30. Like this day went by really fast.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you're always busy, you always have something to work with. So I was really surprised that my days went by fast. Like I enjoy it
Mhm.
working.
I think I get surprised by my knowledge and my learning in the field because like when you start and you see everything, it can be really overwhelming because public accounting is hard. And I think I was really overwhelmed at the beginning and just kind of had that imposter's feeling, like this, I have no idea what's going on, I don't know what I'm doing. But like as time goes on, you really start to realize like, oh, okay, I kind of get this. I kind of get like you're always constantly learning, but I think you surprise yourself by how quickly you catch on to things and the learning and growth that you do throughout your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions?
I actually have another one. Through all this COVID stuff and some of the procedures that were changed and some of the just adjustments that had to be made, what are some of the things or one thing that you guys would hope to be permanent? Like that they changed it and you really, really liked it and you're like, man, I wish we could do this, forever.
Well, I think a lot of things are going to be permanent. I think COVID has changed a lot of industries for good. But one thing with Suttle, I think, is probably like the working from home. I am not a person who wants to do it full time all day, every day. I need structure. I need my space at the office. But I think maybe once or twice a week it would just kind of give people a more flexible feeling, more home life balance feeling, because we didn't really kind of had that option before, but like it wasn't the next go-to option. Like you always kind of try to be in the office, be present, get your work done. But now that COVID's hit and now we've all had to work from home for 2 months, and they realize like we can still be productive. I think that it will be an option in the future. At least I hope so.
I've really enjoyed people getting used to like internet comedy, like some good memes and things, because I send out some memes and more people are understanding them than normal because it's like all you do is sit on the internet. So that'll stay around.
We need the memes.
Yeah, I love me a good meme.
Any other COVID related questions? I know this has been a really crazy time. And I am very thankful to be working and to still have a job. So it's been crazy. Well, if you guys have any other questions, you can email either of us anytime. I hope that recruiting season goes well for everybody. And if you wanted to apply with us, our jobs are on job tracks. And so I hope you all have a great recruiting season.
Yeah,
Go get
and
some internships.
don't get discouraged about anything. I mean, if something doesn't work out this time, there's always next year. There's always if one door closes, another one opens.
Yeah.
Climb through the window. I mean, that's what I did. I mean, like I wasn't offered a position here the first time I interviewed, and then I was the second time. So, yeah,
Yeah, don't give up.
Well, thank you guys for your awesome presentation. It was super interesting, and I know at least I learned a lot more about Suttle than I had in the past. So,
Yay.
thank you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Hope you all
thanks
have a
for
great
coming.
night.
All right. Stay safe. Wear your mask.